Well, no Arsenal January signings. Is it a failed transfer window for the club of Arsenal? Go into the comment section and get me your answer. And I know most of you are really going to say, Rokani, it's a failed transfer window. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, today I'm really having Fabrizio Romano. I'm also having Sam Jadine explain to us why Arsenal never brought in a single player into this recently concluded January transfer window. And I think you're really going to enjoy their conversations. I don't know whether they will agree with them or not, but they've got to hate, obviously, do they need one of you let us know what you people think about this. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name. And remember, we have a very huge offer coming in through from Mono Gadgets, especially those that want affordable smartwatches. If at all you need an affordable smartwatch, call them on +256 70 99 88 665 and you'll thank me later. If you're having a loved one, I think that's the best gift that you'll ever give to your loved one, and see to it that everything really goes on as planned. Affordable smartwatch, you will enjoy it to the fullest, and you'll be like, oh gosh, how did I not know about Mono Gadgets before all this? And you'll thank Rokani David later for obviously letting you know about Mono Gadgets. Now, towards the end of the winter transfer window, Fabrizio Romano told us that Arsenal are really making calls to agents to see who is available and see whether they can bring in someone. But when it clocked 11 p.m., when it was 10:30 p.m. in the UK, I got to know that Arsenal cannot pull out on any deal, and I was like, it's over. And when it clocked 11 p.m., no one could obviously sign in a player. The remaining hour was all about those players that have already gone ahead to obviously submit in their papers. That is it. Now, after that, not going as planned to the fans of Arsenal, Fabrizio Romano has something to say about this. It has been a long story, he really said on YouTube, and I went ahead to obviously try to document it into his words, and I was like, let's tackle one by one and see whether it makes sense. Now, this is what Fabrizio Romano went ahead to say. He said, I really respect what Arsenal are doing because it's not easy to go and beat Man City and still be in the title race with Liverpool, who are on another planet this season, but Arsenal are still there. They are still fighting. That's what he said. He added and said, I respect what Arsenal are doing on and off the pitch with their youngsters. Trust me, to play Wanyeri and Lois Kelly isn't something easy when you're competing at the highest level in the UEFA Champions League, the Premier League, in the best competitions in the world. To put your own kids, it's not something easy. He added again and said, so let's give credit to what Arsenal are doing. In the market for Arsenal, it's been a tough month for sure. I understand the frustration of Arsenal fans who wanted to see a number 9. He said, how I see things, my information again, Arsenal will do something very important in this summer. Remember what Arsenal did in the past. We already saw this kind of strategy. Instead of bringing in somebody now and not make a technical impact, you're excited today, but you're disappointed in 1 month or 2 months. He said, Arsenal decided to wait on the market where many clubs were looking for strikers and they didn't find the right striker. Arsenal preferred to wait and continue with this team. In the summer, Benjamin Šeško, Arsenal will be there, although he's on the list of Chelsea and others. Isak is their obsession, meaning that Arsenal are really having Alexander Isak as their preferred signing. He concluded and said, these two players
are on their list, and one of them could join Arsenal. So there is a strong possibility for sure that, and there is a guarantee for Arsenal to sign a top striker with Sheshko and Isak very high on their list. He concluded by saying, we can't guarantee that it's gonna be one of them, but there is gonna be a top striker, and Arsenal are already working in terms of contact for a striker. That's what Fabrizio Romano came up and said after Arsenal never signed any player. And he talked of Arsenal really fighting with City and Liverpool, and talking about Ethan Nwaneri, and competing with Man City and Liverpool. Competing is okay. This is the season that Arsenal had to win a trophy because Man City had imploded. But when Man City imploded, guess who else went ahead to obviously implode? It was Arsenal itself. Arsenal too went ahead to implode. You understand? Because Arsenal are supposed to be on top of the Premier League table. They've lost very many points, guys. They've lost very many points. You know, drawing with Fulham, drawing with Brighton, losing to Bournemouth, drawing with Villa. Which other? Losing to Newcastle. You know, 5 games without Arsenal really getting in the maximum points they really wanted to get. So I disagree with Fabrizio Romano with that. Talking about youngsters, Nwaneri and Lewis Kelly, I think that's a bonus. But you cannot rely on those two players. They're really young and they're just learning on the job. Arsenal needed a forward in this January transfer window after Gabriel Jesus and Bukayo Saka got injured. If Jesus and Saka were fit, everyone would have been okay to understand that, all right, it's really, really okay. These players can really take us on until the end of the season, you know. But these two players are injured. And Arteta also went ahead and obviously addressed the media that they want to bring in players at the club of Arsenal. And that's exactly what we anticipated that would happen at the club of Arsenal. But by the time the 3rd of February went ahead to expire, Arsenal had not even made anything like an attempt to sign a player. The last attempt they made was for Oli Watkins, being reported a £60 million bid rejected, but David Austin told us that Arsenal had put in a £40 million bid. That's what we got. So it's really very, 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 very saddening for the club of Arsenal. And waiting for the summer to bring in players, Fabrizio Romano says that he understands the frustration of Arsenal fans, but why would you bring in a player early enough and he flops? You are happy for the signing and you're not happy in the next 8 weeks. And I would like to pose a question to him. Ever since the Mikel Arteta era came in through, I think Arsenal just brought in Palmieri, and he stayed down in did he come to Arsenal in January, or he came the next day? In the summer. But Arsenal were busy in the January transfer window of 2023. They brought in Jakub Kivio, Trossard, and Jorginho. Is any of those a threat, a flop? None of those players is a flop, because if Arsenal try to sell those players, especially Trossard, they can really get back their money. Look at Jakub Kivio. Arsenal can get back their money plus profits. I think it's only Jorginho who is really going to live on a free, because Flamengo is like, they want to obviously agree a deal with him before everything comes in, and Arsenal convinces them to obviously come up and obviously do the needful. So I think Arsenal have already gone ahead obviously do a January transfer window, and it looked great, you understand? But this time round they've failed themselves. And I tell you, when you go to X, Kroenke out, Arteta out, and Arteta is going to be addressing a presser today on Tuesday ahead of their semi-final return leg of the Carabao Cup with Newcastle. And I just can't wait to hear what Arteta is going to say about why they never brought in a player. Is he going to tell us that they never had the right player that could meet their credentials and requests? I'll be waiting to see whether that will obviously come to pass or not. So that's exactly what he said, and he concluded by telling us that in the summer, players are going to be signed. Either Benjamin Sesko or Alexandra Isak will obviously be signed by Arsenal. And on those two, I'd like to give you a hint that Benjamin Sesko goes for 70 to 75 million euros, right? Alexandra Isak, Newcastle is calling in for 150 million pounds. Now, if Isak is the marquee signing for the club of Arsenal, that means they'll try to negotiate and knock that price down like they did for Declan Rice. West Ham were like 120. Arsenal made a bid of 75. Then another one of 95. Then they went ahead to make a bid of 105 million pounds and they signed that player. Now, Isak, when you look at his journey in the Premier League, he's really enjoying himself and scoring very many goals. And if he obviously goes into double figures, if at all he scores 20 goals this season, plus, obviously, he's going to be that expensive. And last season, 30 games, 21 goals, 2 assists. And this season, he has played 22 games, 17 goals and 5 assists, meaning that he's 4 goals away from really leveling the number of goals he scored last season for Newcastle, meaning that he's left with 14 games. And that tells you that he can even score 30 goals in the Premier League. And the moment he scores 30 goals in the Premier League, it's really going to be hard for the club of Arsenal to obviously go and really take peanuts to the side of and pay peanuts to the side of and pay peanuts to the side of and pay peanuts to the side of Arsenal, right? To the side of Newcastle. So we are here to wait and see how things are really going to be panning out, but I'll tell you more about that. Now, let's get to Sam Jedin. He has his reasons as to why Arsenal never really went ahead, obviously signed players, as most of its people anticipated that if they really needed a trophy, they needed obviously put in a charge and obviously put in a very huge shift altogether onto how and who to obviously get in. But none of those really showed up. And that is going to obviously paint a picture that maybe they're really planning for this summer. But remember, why are Arsenal fans pissed? Arsenal fans are pissed because David Austin told us that Arsenal really had 161 million pounds to spend in this January transfer window before they even qualified for the quarterfinals of the Champions League that collected them close to 13 million euros just jumping there, you understand? And they had gone ahead to collect some good money. I counted when Arsenal had in like 50 million euros, you know? So they are going to be having the money. And I don't want to hear that Arsenal thinks that Alexandra Isak in the summer money is not enough. He is one of the only players that Arsenal should get in through. But Isak is one of those that he should obviously look at. Now, let's go to Sam Jedin. He has come out and told us the following about Arsenal. That Arsenal could not sign the players they really wanted this month, and they were unwilling to invest in a player they felt would not improve the squad. They worried that buying the wrong man would prevent them from buying the right man in the summer. Now, Arsenal, in the January transfer window of 2023, they're supposed to bring in Mikhailo Modric. When they failed to bring in Mikhailo Modric, they brought in Trossard. You know, they wanted to bring in Caicedo. When they failed to bring in Caicedo, they brought in Jorginho. You get? And for Jakub Kiwior, he was really one that they wanted and got him in. So, Was there any rocket science in that? This doesn't really relate to what Arsenal did in the summer. All what was needed was simple. Arsenal, please, you needed a player because Gabriel Jesus is injured and Saka is injured. Most of the people are like, Saka is returning in March. All right, I understand he's going to be returning in March, but I'm 100% sure that when he returns, he's obviously going to hit the ground running. And will he rescue the Arsenal side? I doubt. So, I don't really buy this because Man City, that are really far off from winning the trophy, are going to have to spend 210 million euros. So, why not Arsenal? So, Sam Jedin also added and said, the other financial concern was that Gabriel Jesus, who will miss around a year, now cannot be sold in the summer. His high wages mean that Arsenal are already committing significant financial resources on two strikers, even though only one is available to play. Now, I don't really buy this because even if you sign in a striker in the summer, it's going to be the same narrative. Now, if Gabriel Jesus returns, do you have guarantee that there is a team that is obviously going to take him? You get? That guarantee is not there. You get? If they are to move on Gabriel Jesus, they will move him on next in the summer of 2026. That is it. Or the January transfer window of 2026. So I don't buy all this. All these are excuses. And if you are an Arsenal fan, don't buy this. Don't buy this. These are lies. These are lies because you think if Oli Watkins was brought in through at Arsenal, how much could he demand? Because when you go to his salary at, let me see, Oli Watkins wage, that's what I want to see, at Aston Villa. Oli Watkins earns £130,000 a week. Now, do you think that Oli Watkins would have said no to Arsenal if at all they told him, we are giving you £150,000 a week? This is his dream club. He has wanted to play for Arsenal for a very long period of time. And why would they go for him? So I don't buy all that crap that they wouldn't like to be having two strikers when they're really being paid a lot of money. I know Jesus earns £250,000 a week, but I tell you this, Arsenal is giving out excuses. I don't know whether it's coming in from Arsenal because none of the Arsenal correspondents has come out and obviously spoken anything. Steve Kay, Whitley, then this other guy that was at the goal, I've forgotten his name, you know. There is Kaye Kanak. They haven't gone to speak something. But I know tonight they're obviously inquiring with the people around Arsenal, the Team News Antics, Ozil, Hand of Ozil, and very many others, you know, haven't gone ahead obviously come up, you know. Ghana Blog, who is an Arsenal correspondent for The Athletic. I just can't wait to see what they're obviously going to be bringing up in here onto this beautiful channel and see why Arsenal really never had to bring in players. But all those are lies. All those are lies. All those are lies for the club of Arsenal. Because if you bring in a striker in the January transfer window and you're saying that you're going to be paying two strikers, I understand. But how much money is that striker going to take? Because you are adding like £150,000 a week. That is £600,000 a month times 5. That is £3 million. Now, you tell me that if Arsenal finish second, how much money is it gonna miss? Because last season, if you have to look at 2023, 2024 Premier League money, prize money. Let's see the difference between what Man City earned and what Arsenal earned. That's what I want to know, because is it more than £3 million? You know, He said, I want to know how much Man City got. I want to know how much Man City got. That's what I want to know, because that will paint us a very big picture on how much Arsenal is obviously gonna miss. You understand? So, estimated. No, you don't want estimated. I want it all. Total amount of money. Plus, plus, I want it all. I think the difference is really huge. The difference is really huge. If you add even the TV money and so on and so forth, it's really huge. Now, the story reads that, but all 20 sides will be banked more than £100 million in prize money for their travels over the 10 months. Now, the figures are expected to mirror last season's total, meaning Man City will end up earning more than £170 million alongside the glory and silverware. You understand? Man City will end up getting £170 million. Now, I want to see Arsenal, every club receives £80 million in equal share pounds, all right? Now, we are told that first, Man City 176.2 million. Arsenal got 172, million pounds. You understand? So, there is a difference of £4 million. Now, Arsenal is trying to tell us that they don't need that £1 million, right? They need it because if you bring in a striker and spend £3 million on him for salary and he wins you the trophy, then you know where you're going to be. And this striker won't only get you money in the Premier League, but also in the Champions League. You have a forward in. You are drawn with Madrid, all Man City, all Juventus, all Bayern Munich, with a striker that you're going to have to bring through during the winter transfer window and wins you a Champions League. Do you know how much money you're going to be there? That means Arsenal would have gone ahead, obviously, win more money, close to £200 million. Champions League and the Premier League all won. So I think financially, that's a very big move in a wrong direction. I tell you, very big move in a wrong direction, I tell you. So guys, I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about why Arsenal never brought in signings. I've not gone ahead to buy any of the reasons that Arsenal is going ahead to put out from credible journalists, but I don't know what your thoughts are. But for me, they are not convincing. On your side, are they convincing? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. We are powered by Mono Gadgets, and the commodity we are really trading is an affordable smartwatch. Call them on +256 70 99 88 665, and those affordable watches will be delivered to you, all to your loved one. We are into the month of love, that is Valentine, and it's 9 days to Valentine, 9-10 days to Valentine. See you, my mates, and it's always nice having you here. 4th of February, third video. We haven't gone ahead to start our day. I've already gone ahead to put out 2 videos, and this is the third one coming live and direct at you. Bye bye.